Vectors are extremely versatile in making designs. The one disadvantage of them, however, is they tend to look quite flat and very digital. So in this video, I want to show you how to add that texture so they have a handmade appearance. We're going to add this almost like a block printed quality. So without any further ado, let's jump into Illustrator. Okay, first things first, we just need to draw these motifs. You can simply do that by drawing them with ink on paper. I've made my drawings in Procreate. It's the same process. We're going to run it through Image Trace. Let me just show how I've done that quickly. So let's make a new file. It's going to be 30 by 30 centimeters large, 300 ppi resolution. Next, I'm going to import some Paisley design elements that I've drawn in Procreate. I'm simply dragging and dropping them here and we'll run them through Image Trace. If you don't use Procreate, that's absolutely fine. You can just make your drawings using black ink on paper. There's just a few extra steps that you'd need to take in Photoshop before you were ready to import them into Illustrator. If you need to watch a video on how to do that, I have one called How to Turn Your Sketches into Vectors. If you don't see Image Trace, have a look here in the Windows panel. Tick Image Trace and it should show up somewhere here. Let's expand Advanced Settings. Tick Ignore White and expand. And that's it. We're ready to work with these. The one thing I want to do though is I'm going to ungroup them first. So this has all been ungrouped. So I'm just going to select this element, type Command G to group it so it's on its own. Make sure these are all together. And then obviously this one is all ungrouped. I'm going to select it, Command G to group. I've added a few more elements, as you can see, using the same process. The next thing we're going to do is add the texture. Once again, I've used Procreate, but we can easily do this using ink and paper. I'm using whatever I found around the house just to show you. This is a dry brush and some black gouache paint. Simply make a few marks, scan them in, and follow the same image trace process we've just seen. I'm going to import my brush marks into this document, and once again, image trace them. I've prepared a few colors here, which I think will look good for this design. And let's put together a little pattern now. I'm going to draw a square setting dimensions of 30 by 30 centimeters. To do that, simply select the rectangle tool, click once anywhere on your artboard. It will bring up this little box and we can set the dimensions there. Type Shift Command left bracket to send the square to the back. I haven't filmed the part where I extended the artboard a little bit. That's why the square is smaller than the artboard, but not to worry, we'll correct that in a minute. Now I'm going to select all of the design elements and give them this color. Our print texture will also need to be given a color, and that color needs to match the background. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this third color from my swatches. I won't be needing that. And now I will align my background square with the top leftmost corner of my artboard. Then, with that square selected, I'll come over to the artboard tool and select Fit to Selected Art. This way, the artboard matches the size of our pattern tile. Now I can go ahead and arrange my pattern. I'm not going to spend too long talking about this part because I really just want to focus this video on the part where we add the texture to it. It's all just a matter of scattering the elements in a way that looks pretty. I want to make sure that there's a variety of sizes of the elements. There are large, medium, and small ones, so we have some depth to the design. I'm also going to recycle some of the elements. I'm going to make copies, make slight changes, take out or add different bits to different design elements to make sure there's variety. I'm quite happy with this. So before I commit to the design itself, I just want to test it out and make sure it looks good overall. There are no issues with repeatability. So to test it out, I'm going to select everything, holding down Option, drag out a copy. Then I'm going to select the background square, type Command C to copy it, Command F to paste in front, and then type Shift Command right bracket to move it over the top of everything. Once I've done that, I will select the whole thing again and type Command 7 to create a clipping mask. Then, with the whole thing selected, I'm going to come over to Object, Pattern, Make, Size Style to Art. I am happy with the way the pattern looks overall. I'm going to click Cancel though, because we have yet to add texture to it. I'm going to delete that. First, I'm going to select my texture and type Shift Command right bracket to make sure it's positioned over the top of everything else on my artboard. Then it's important to remember that the texture is essentially another design element. So we're going to add it to our repeat pattern. So I will first position it in the leftmost corner of my tile, type Enter to bring up this panel. Remember the size of our tile is 30 by 30 cm, so in the horizontal section we'll have 30 and vertical is 0. Click Copy. Next, select both of these pieces of texture, type Enter, and this time it's 0 for horizontal and 30 for vertical. Remember to select Copy. Otherwise, you will simply move your objects without making a copy. If I type Command Y on my keyboard to reveal the wireframe of my design, you will see that I now have the texture element on each corner of the pattern tile. I'm going to select one of them, hold down Option, drag out a copy, and position it in the middle of the artboard. I'm just gonna turn it a little and type Command Y again so we can see what we're doing. So now that texture has been applied to our design, I'm just going to repeat the process of testing my pattern by holding down Option, selecting everything, and dragging out a copy. I'm going to select the background tile, Command C to copy it, Command F to paste in front, Shift Command right bracket to position it over the top of everything, then select everything again, Command 7 to make a clipping mask, and then repeat the process to make a pattern. Size Style to Art. So now you can see we have that beautiful pattern with the texture laid over it. And now we can click OK, and you can see the pattern has been added to our swatches. We can go ahead and draw a little rectangle here to test it out. I think it looks lovely. And if you found this tutorial useful, drop me a like and a follow. I cherish each and every one of you.